Hello, Sanford. I am your man on the call, of course, Jonathan West, here for another edition of The Howler on the Sanford Sports Radio. It's another week to talk about Sanford College Coyotes football, and it's a tough one. We've got Northwestern this week, and it doesn't look good. I'll say that much. It's the toughest game of the season, but if you want to talk about positives, and we'll transition back to the game here in just a second, let's talk about the recruiting trail. Cameron Wilson, the big-name wide receiver, is still a go for Sanford. That is huge. As long as they can beat out Iowa and keep him on the blue and silver track, I think everyone's going to be happy. Tanner Patrick looks like he's all but secured here for Sanford, along with Deshaun Hollis, the big defensive end pass rusher out of New York. Of course, the brother to Niner Shaquem Hollis. But there's a lot of things, though, we do have to talk about negatively here this week about recruiting, because there are guys that Coach Wolf has taken pretty much off the board. He wants to see where they decide to go, but other than that, there's really no use having them on his board anymore. Splash Gibson and Pat Riley, though, are seeing the plus for the defense. I feel the helpfulness of how well that defense played last week against Western Michigan is going to secure a chance for these defensive playmakers to come here to Sanford. One playmaker, though, is Claude Fleming, who was recently added to the board, and this kid can be that workhorse running back that this team desperately needs. He's not extremely fast by any means, and he needs to bulk up a bit, but he can be a Matt Forte type jack-of-all-trades kind of guy, and that is exactly something this team needs. Now, Daniel Clemmings and Kellen Herron have jumped into the top 10 now on the board. They're really not starting potential right now from the sounds of what I've been hearing from the coaching staff. They could see redshirt years, but they do like the talent that's there. There's no guarantee that they'll be starters anytime down the line, but there is a potential for big play ability. Now, a guy this coaching staff sees as a prime starter very soon in his career at Sanford is Mark Lewis, the offensive lineman. He plays tackle at high school, and he is a strong guy. They like him as a possible right tackle right now, and that is a big position they're going to have to fill this offseason. Now let's talk about the negatives, as Daniel Gregory IV has pretty much said no to Sanford. Same thing with Bryson Mitchell. WVU or bust for him. And sadly, Parker Freddy, arguably one of my favorite recruits this season, has decided to stay close to home and stay with Brigham Young University. We wish him the best in his years to come at BYU. But now let's talk about this week's game. It's a tough one. Of course, Northwestern is being favored to win this matchup. But the issue with this is, of course, it's Big Ten competition with a new team in the NCAA. It's a young team in Sanford against a team that's used to playing NCAA competition. Now, am I saying Sanford can't possibly win? There's no way in God's green earth that they come away with a W? No. Is it very unlikely? Yes. I think if they were to win, this is the game that would shock everyone. This is the game that would pretty much put them on the map. And I think just being competitive in this ball game and not making mistakes is a moral victory enough for this team. Now, I'm not sure how Coach Wolf looks at this. I didn't get actually a chance to talk to him. He's been very kind of hesitant with media as of late. And I've got a feeling it's because of the losing streak that this team is on. He doesn't want to answer those questions of how safe are the coaches, how safe is his job, is it going to be a 1 year, one thing. But he's been very hesitant, but I think he has some faith in this team, especially after last week and seeing how well the running game showed up. And if that can continue and they can get that ground game going, I think this team has a chance. The elephant in the room is making mistakes. If mistakes don't happen, this team succeeds. If mistakes happen this week, this team flounders. It's just that easy. We saw last week the confidence of Parker Dillon just left him. Dante Anderson got brought in, and I think that hurt him even more. We saw Kenny West throw a pass. I still believe that Dillon is the best quarterback currently on the Sanford roster. However, I'm not sure if the quarterback that Coach Wolf wants is on this roster. We do know that Tanner Patrick may get a chance to start next year. However, I do believe they'll go with Parker Dillon next year as well. He'll be a senior. He'll be the veteran. He'll have the experience. I think that's what they want. I would not all be surprised, though, to see Tanner Patrick, be the backup to Dillon and kind of take over for Kenny West. Now, I don't know what that's going to mean for West, if he'll make the roster, if he won't, what the situation's going to be. All I know is that this team just needs to find their spot. If they can find their place, if they can keep their confidence up, if they can find something that drives them momentum-wise, they have a chance to succeed. The defense sharpened up last week. If they can do the same this week and play extremely well against a tough Northwestern team, hey, that's going to be something to look at and be proud about. If they can't and they get destroyed, it's another negative. As long as the positives keep coming, this team has a reason to, be happy, be excited, have momentum. If there are no positives, where do you go from there? And that's what I think the big issue is right now. And the reason Coach Wolf is so kind of terrified to talk to the media currently. He doesn't know if there's going to be a positive this week with how tough of a matchup this is. However, I'm hoping that this team comes out strong. I'm hoping this team comes out and shocks the world. And I'm hoping that by the end of this Saturday, I'm chanting for the first time, Sanford wins. As I will be headed off here, folks, as I'll see you this Saturday for Sanford versus Northwestern. As this is Jonathan West, and I will see you folks this weekend. Hello, Sanford Sports Radio. You are listening to the Sanford Sports Radio. I'm Jonathan West, and welcome to the Sanford College Coyotes versus Northwestern matchup. As the Coyotes have a tough test in front of them, as Northwestern is arguably the toughest game on the season. I was talking to some fans coming here into the press box, and the Northwestern students are excited. They're just as happy as you can be because they believe that they can kill Sanford. Now, I'm not saying they're going to. I'm not saying they're not going to, but I'm just saying they shouldn't be as confident as they are. Who knows what's going to happen? Football is a very unpredictable sport, and I stated in practice this week that I think this team can get the job done. So we'll see exactly what happens. I stated before, of course, earlier this week, saying that mistakes are the issue. If they don't make mistakes, they can win. And I think that can happen here this week. Let's hope that it does. As we get ready for action here in Ryan Field, as they are setting up for the starting kickoff, Sanford ready to return this one as we are underway here. Luke Lumpkin, your man, that's Lewis McMahon who took it. Luke Lumpkin was there to throw a block as McMahon gets 20 yards on the first return of the day. As first and 10 under center is Parker Dillon. He's going to go play action early. That's a little bit of a surprise as he tried to check down to Bradford, but he was covered like a blanket. That was blanket coverage, and Dillon throws it right at Anthony Walker Jr., the middle linebacker. That's going to be a pick. And that's the first play of the game, folks. A mistake right off the bat is not the way you want to start, but Shane Townsend. A loss of 4 for Thorson, and that is a big play. That's what you want to see. This defense found some momentum last week, and can they keep it up is the question. As another loss here, Chris Wood on the tackle, this time a loss of 2. As it's 3rd and 16 now, Thorson looking to set up a screen. He finds Moten, the 3rd running back on the depth chart, as their first 2 running backs are injured this week. And luckily Northwestern settles for a field goal. So this team did something we're not used to. They made a team settle as they pass here to Tremaine Dingle. That's a gain of 5. So a good start for the defense. The offense has to get something rolling here as the pitch goes to Lee Mayfield. And that's a loss of 3. A big hit from Kyle Cuero. 3rd and 8 now out of the shotguns. Dillon looked for the curl to the Fellows, but picked off by Matthew Harris, and he's gonna take it all the way back. Mistakes, 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 but I don't blame Parker Dillon here. This is a good play by Harris. He thought he had Fellows open. Harris just jumps in front of it. And, well, when that happens, you really can't blame the quarterback. He thought he had his man. Cornerback just plays it better than the quarterback does. And, well, it ends up in a pick 6 at this situation as Lee Mayfield takes another carry here on 1st and 10. That's a gain of 6 for the senior runner. As now Nigel McTaggart is checked into the ball game. McTaggart gets the handoff, and he'll get enough for the first down, a gain of 5 on his first run of the day. As they're in the shotgun here on 1st and 10, this offense starting to find a little bit of momentum, but Dillon goes down, able to get the ball out of his hands, luckily. But nonetheless, a tough hit there as they go back to the ground game, and Lee Mayfield just bulldozing over a would-be tackler, a 10-yard gain and a first down. We need to see more of that from this ground game. As they go play action here, and Dillon wanted, I believe that was Tremaine Dingle, but picked off once again. That is 3 drives, 3 interceptions. This team not looking sharp early on the passing attack. The ground game has been solid. Not terrible, not great, but solid. And the passing attack's just not working. The play action is not throwing them off. As now Thorson in the shotgun, taking it on the option. He'll go down. A gain of 3 as Leslie Ingram was the man who came up from the safety position. As Thorson looking to throw here. As that is a drop. Should have been a catch. Luckily, it was not, as that will bring up 3rd and 7. Thorson out of the shotgun connects with Dickerson. He had to come back for it a bit. It'll be a gain of about 2 or 3. They'll have to settle for another. No, wait a minute. They're still out here on 4th and 5. Thorson trying to find his man, but he goes down. Sacked. Poland gets his first sack of the season. That is huge for this team. A turnover on downs. They stopped Northwestern from getting points. Good on you, defense. As 1st and 10 now for the offense. Dillon looking for an open man, and he throws it to Fellows, who gets it intercepted by Matthew Harris again. And you know, I was going to say I give it to Dillon for trying to get it to Fellows. Mike Ashley was more open, not by much, but Harris was covering Fellows like a blanket. The coverage has been absolutely superb here by Northwestern today. As a pass here on 2nd and 10 goes to Cameron Green for a gain of 9. That's going to be a nice gain there. 3rd and inches for Northwestern. As they're running this no huddle, tiring out the defense. As Thorson almost went down as he throws it to Austin Carr, but he can't hang on. That's 4th and inches. They're going to have to settle. No, they're going to punt. Okay, then. And wait a minute, a fake punt pass. Mayo's got it to the end zone. Alonzo Mayo just scored on a thrown punt. I can't believe it, folks. 1st and 10 here for Sanford. as a loss of 2 for Mayfield on the screen. They now have to try and come back from a punter throwing a touchdown. I don't know what to say, as on 2nd and 12, it's a short throw to Tremaine Dingle. He can't hold on, though. This defense has been all over Sanford today. As 3rd and 12, Dillon looks to throw, but he goes down, loses the football, picked up by the left tackle, McIntyre. It's just absurd. They can't get anything going. Luckily, the defense has been a positive note today as they're back on the field here. 1st and 10 for Northwestern, as there goes Moten. He's brought down by McLaughlin. 2nd and 10 now as the no huddle begins once again. The first quarter close to a close here. As Green, the man in motion, handoff goes to Moten around that left side once again. He gets some blocks this time, and that's Dante McPherson who brings him down after a 23-yard run. As this may be the last play of the first quarter. 13 seconds. As the handoff goes to Moten. He's got the run there, brought down by McPherson, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Northwestern is in control as we all expected. 17-0 over Sanford. You're watching the Sanford Sports Radio. Welcome back to the Sanford Sports Radio, as I am Jonathan West on the call. Sanford down 17-0 as the handoff goes to Anderson, and 10 yards for Austin Anderson into the end zone. 24-0. Sanford down here as Lee Mayfield gets the handoff and is corralled quickly. A loss of 2. Anthony Walker Jr. on the tackle. As 2nd and 12 now, McTaggart in the ball game. He'll hand off, and McTaggart gains 4. Nothing much going. This Northwestern defense has been tough all day long. It's just going to get tougher, as looks like Kenny West is now in the ball game at quarterback. He's going to throw, and he's intercepted. Williams now gets his 2nd interception of the day. That's 5 total in the first half. This is unbelievable. But, I mean, this is what happens when you're playing a team that, talent-wise, I mean, there's no matchup where there's more talent for Sanford. As the 1st and 10 handoff for Northwestern goes to Moten. He'll gain nothing there as this defense has played hard-nosed football, though. And that, I think, these coaches can be extremely proud of, especially defensive coordinator Mark Riley. As Thorson throws, and that's a drop. As a nice tackle by Theo Davis, forcing the ball loose. And they're going to punt again. No, they're faking it for the 2nd time today. But nobody's open. Pressure comes in. That is Luke Lumpkin, who forced a fumble picked up by Maxwell. The return man just picked up a forced fumble. That's how you do it, as Dillon on the run here tries to get it off on 1st and 10. Gets it off, but it goes nowhere. 2nd and 10 upcoming. As 2nd and 10 handoff goes to Lee Mayfield. That's a solid gain of 6 yards there. This Sanford team has to they have to utilize this. They have to capitalize off that mistake, as Dillon rolling out right here on 3rd and 4. He connects with Mike Ashley. That's a 21-yard reception. The senior receiver finds space, and luckily for him, Parker Dillon was able to set his feet and connect. There we go. The biggest play on offense so far. As it's 2nd and goal here, Dillon out of the shotgun. Hooks up with Harrison Frazier, and last week he dropped 3 passes. This week, he catches a touchdown. That is what we needed right there. A touchdown drive capitalizing off a fumble recovery. As Northwestern now back on offense, this defense has to do it again as there's Shane Townsend sacking Thorson for the for the first time. As 2nd and 14, connection is to Austin Carr. That's a gain of 4 for Northwestern, as they'll be looking at 3rd and 10 with their no-huddle offense. As we'll see what this defense can do here. Another third down. They've done well so far against Northwestern on third down. And they do it again. Shane Townsend picks up his second sack. As there was an actual punt finally. And Sanford has an opportunity. A 3-yard gain there for Lee Mayfield. As they are about at midfield. At their own 49, 2nd and 7. Parker Dillon looks to throw, and he can't hook up with Sean Merritt. That was good coverage by the defense on Merritt. As 3rd and 7 here, Dillon to throw again. Hooks up with Sean Merritt this time, and that is a 13-yard first down. There we go. This offense, I think, has found their momentum. And finally, Sanford has something to cheer for. 2 minutes left here in the first half as Dillon off the play action was looking for Fellows but picked off by Prater. And what was looking like a very, very positive drive turns once again into an interception as Jalen Prater with the pick. And this has been the story of the day. Interception after interception after interception. As Thorson now back on offense connects with Volt. As that's a gain of 6. As I believe that was Chris Wood on the tackle. 2nd and 4 now in the 5-wide set for Thorson. He's looking to go somewhere. Can't go anywhere. Positive Shane Townsend has 3 sacks on the day. He set a new school record. As 3rd and 9 here. As Thorson looking to go to Moten on the screen. He doesn't get enough for the first. Only a gain of 6. As with 30-some seconds left, Dillon to throw. And he hooks up with the wrong color jersey again. That's Cuero with the interception. That is 7 interceptions total for Northwestern in this first half. I don't know what is wrong with this offense today. I understand it's a tough matchup, but this is getting absurd. As the defense, you can tell, is exhausted as a drop, luckily, there by Northwestern. 2nd and 10 now. As Thorson to throw out a shotgun, looking for the screen to Moten. He gets it, but not going very far as Luke Lumpkin brings him down. 3rd and 10 now. As Thorson looks to throw. He connects with Green as Green finds first down yardage and more. 24 yards as it looked at first like Green wasn't going to make it to the marker. 2nd and 10 now. 8 seconds left in the half. This will be hopefully the last play as Volt makes the catch. 11-yard gain, and with 2 seconds left, Northwestern takes a timeout. They'll get 1 chance at a field goal. As the kick is up, it's good. We'll go into halftime. Sanford down 7-27. But hey, the offense may be a wreck this week. That defense has looked great. I'm Jonathan Weston. We'll talk to you with more here on the Sanford Sports Radio. Welcome back to Sanford Sports Radio. Here is I am Jonathan West. We are in the second half of Northwestern hosting Sanford as Thorson goes down. Guess who that was? Trey McLaughlin comes up from the middle linebacker spot. 2nd and 14 is Thorson. Looks to run again. This time he's got room, and he finds the marker and more in to Coyote territory. 22-yard gain. 1st and 10 now as the no huddle begins this drive. Thorson connects with Volt. He's brought down quickly by Luke Lumpkin. 2nd and 7 now as Thorson continuing this no huddle offense. They go for a screen here to Austin Carr, but nowhere to go. Stephen Young brings him down. I'll give it to the secondary. They have played their hearts out today. 3rd and 7. As Thorson looks to throw on third down to the flats, and that one's nearly picked off by Richard Cruz. He could have taken that one all the way back. As it's 4th and 7, and they fake another punt. Northwestern trying to fool Sanford a lot today. That one didn't work either. As Sanford gets a chance here on the turnover on downs. Lee Mayfield with the carry here for a gain of 5. As 2nd and 5 now, Dillon under center. He's dropping back. Connects with Herb Fellows for the first time today. 10-yard gain and a first down. Finally, Herb Fellows gets involved in this offense. As 1st and 10, Dillon drops back. And he tries to connect with Merritt, but a very similar play to what we saw last week against Western Michigan. Good deflection by the defense. As 2nd and 10 here, Lee Mayfield with a gain of 6 on that carry. He has had a solid day. It hasn't been the best, but nearly 4 yards per carry. As 3rd and 4, they go to Nigel McTaggart on 3rd down, and that's a first down carry. Look at that. McTaggart comes through. As it's Dillon throwing here on 1st and 10 for Mayfield on the screen. This one at least is a positive gain of yards. 3 yards as Mayfield tries to continue to move this offense. It's Kenny West now in at quarterback, and he'll take it on the option. West utilizing that speed for a 10-yard gain and a new set of downs for the Coyotes. As 1st and 10, West was still in the ball game, but he hands off to Mayfield instead of taking it on the option. No gain, though, for Mayfield on that one. 2nd and 10 now as Dillon's back in the shotgun. He was looking to the end zone for Fellows, unable to hit him as that was nearly intercepted. 3rd and 10 now, Dillon looking to throw to the end zone. That's Herb Fellows. Somehow comes away with it. Touchdown, Sanford. They have now scored a... I can't talk here. I'm too excited. They've now scored a school-high 14 points. That may not sound like a lot, but hey, they've scored more than in any other game this season. A loss of 1 there for John Moten on his carry. 2nd and 11. Thorson connects with Austin Carr. He'll gain 8 on that, bringing up another 3rd down. Richard Cruz, the man on the tackle. As 3rd and 3, this defense has been good on 3rd downs today. Can they keep it up, though? The handoff goes to Thorson, taking on the option, and he's going to get a big gain down to midfield. Brought down by Dante McPherson. As 1st and 10 here, Thorson in the shotgun. He'll hand off. No, it's an option again. And he's got room to run. A gain of about 7 there, brought down by Richard Cruz. As this offense continues to run no huddle, you can see the exhaustion in the defense as this continues. 2nd and 3, they go back to the option. Brought down quick, though. That's Chris Wood on the tackle of Thorson. 3rd and 1 now. Can the defense stop them? They've been solid on 3rd down. Hand off. No, it's an option. And Thorson just gets past the marker. Dante McPherson brings them down after a gain of 3. 1st and 10. Thorson. Play action. Almost hooks up with his receiver, but Stephen Young's head got in the way. That bounces off the helmet of Stephen Young. As 2nd and 10, it looks like a false start. Indeed, it will be on Northwestern. That's going to move them back 5, and that's going to be a big loss of yardage for them. As 2nd and 15 now for the Wildcats. Thorson to throw. He hooks up with Anderson, and he is dropped after a gain of 7. That brings up 3rd and 8. An opportune moment for this defense. They were able to rotate, so they've got some healthier guys in. As Thorson looks to throw, he tries to hook up with Volt. It bounces off his hands. It's 4th down, folks. The offense, though, for Northwestern still out there. Come on, defense. As 4th and 8. Defense was getting there as Hansen with the pick. Hansen with the pick. An interception. That's the second one in team history, second of the year, as Hansen gets the pick. They're at the 2-yard line, though, as McTaggart gets the handoff here on 1st and 10. A gain of 3 as this team is only down 2 scores. I talked about them being competitive being a huge plus. If they can bring this within 1 score, that would be enormous as Lee Mayfield takes off on a 15-yard scamper around that left side. And that'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. This game just got interesting, folks, as you're watching the Sanford Sports listening to Sanford Sports Radio. I am Jonathan West, your man on the call. Welcome back to the Sanford Sports Radio, folks. Jonathan West here, as Northwestern only leads by 2 scores, but that's an interception once again. Sean Merritt, the intended target, and Joseph Jones comes away with the pick. A big interception right there. Sanford had a ton of momentum. They had an opportunity, and this may be the situation that puts the nail in the coffin, I hate to say it. As Moten with a gain of 5 on that run for Northwestern. He's had a solid day on the ground as this defense has played their hearts out, and you got to give it to them, but they are exhausted. There's not even many starters out there currently, as that is Moten on the reception in the flats, and he's going to take it down the sidelines down to the 2 as a big gain brought out of bounds by Leslie Ingram. 1st and goal. Here's the no huddle in effect as Thorson and company getting their play from the sideline. Thorson with the option, wide open into the end zone. Touchdown Wildcats, as it's now 33-14 as Sanford had an opportunity. Right now, I'd say that opportunity is being thrown out the window. No pun initially intended. But Parker Dillon has not helped this team a lot as Mike Ashley drops a obvious 1st down catch. And that's an issue that this team has had all season, is those drops in big situations. The check down there to Tremaine Dingle. That's a gain of 2 on that reception. They'll be setting up 3rd and 8 coming up. 3rd and 8 now out of the shotgun. Dillon looking to throw. He wanted Fellows. It's picked off again. It was underthrown for her Fellows. He had some room in front of Mayo. Just it was underthrown. And Mayo was the only man really there to make a play. As 1st and 10 here for Northwestern once again, off of a Sanford mistake, and Moten getting a 13-yard carry off of that one. As 1st and 10 here for Northwestern, Thorson to throw. Hooks up with Austin Carr. That's going to be a gain of about 10. They won't give him the 1st down, though. 2nd and inches now as Thorson out of the shotgun connects with, handoff goes to Moten on the draw, as that is a gain down to about the 5-yard line. 1st and goal here as Thorson looks to throw. He tried to hook up with, I believe that's pronounced Nagel, but Dante McPherson there to make a nice play, not only on the receiver, but on the football, as Thorson to throw again. Can't hook up with Carr as the ball goes right through his hands. 3rd and goal here. This would be huge if Northwestern doesn't come away with a touchdown. It's Thorson to throw, and the side of the end zone, it's Nagel for a 5-yard touchdown reception. Couldn't get him earlier. He connects with him this time, as he was wide open on that right side of the end zone. As 41-14, it's a complete reverse of Sanford's score currently for Northwestern, as Dillon tries to go deep, and it's picked off once again by Mayo. That's 10 total interceptions, folks. I still wholeheartedly believe in Parker Dillon. But now, in my opinion, questions have to come up. The bye week is next week, and changes have to be made, right? As Thorson looks to run, he goes down. Thank you, Trey McLaughlin. As McLaughlin having a good day today. All his tackles pretty much for a loss. As Thorson looks to run, and he'll get a first down there, gain of about 14. As 1st and 10 for Northwestern. This defense still exhausted. Very few starters on the line in there, as Moten only gets 4 yards on that carry. 2nd and 6. As Thorson hands off. No, it's an option as Thorson finds room, and enough for the first gain of 12. They've exhausted this defense beyond belief. As Moten once again on the carry. And 1st and 10 turns into 2nd and 2. As Dante McPherson, the man who brings him down. And personally, I'm watching this offense go, and it looks to me like this is the same style of offense that Coach Wolf wants to bring to this team. A heavy dose of the run game as Austin Anderson gains enough for the first inside the 5. As Thorson takes it off the option, that is going to be another Northwestern touchdown, the second of the day for Thorsten. 48-14 as 1st and 10 here for Parker Dillon. He gets hit as he throws. That's going to fall incomplete as Cuero, the man on the pressure. 2nd and 10 now. They hand off to Lee Mayfield. As Mayfield can't get much, only a gain of 1. 3rd and 9 now as Dillon takes the snap, looks to throw deep. Once again underthrown. Hardage with the interception. Make that 10 picks on the day for Parker Dillon. It's just tough to watch this. It's tough to watch this, saying what I did last week. I said I didn't believe this team could get the win. I said it was going to be tough. As Trey McLaughlin with a nice tackle there for only again a 2 for Moten. And this is proving it. Northwestern's a tough team at this stage for Sanford. And it's showing the weakness in Sanford. It also, though, shows the fight this defense has. As a 13-yard gain for Moten there. Another first down for Northwestern. As Northwestern continues, mainly it seems just to run this clock out as they go back to the option. And Thorsten's going to run right up the gut. His 3rd touchdown of the day, 33-yard touchdown. Only makes sense to have a bunch of 3s there. As Northwestern will all but finish this game, as that'll take us to the end. And it's kind of disheartening to know that Coach Wolf just ran the ball to kill clock. However, with a bye week coming up, there's a chance for changes to be made. The next game on the schedule is Miami of Ohio. Another MAC conference game. Currently, as it stands here, they are a winless team as well. If that remains to be the same come week 7, it's 2 teams that are looking for their first W this season. There's not much more fight that you can get, I think, from this defense. They gave it all here this week. This was a defense that wanted to make people think differently of this team. The offense, though, killed that for them. At one point, it was a 2-possession game. Sanford had a chance. If that chance can happen come week 7, I think it's huge. I'm unsure if we're going to have a chance to cover practice for the bye week. If not, I will see you folks here on the Sanford Sports Radio in Week 7 as we talk about the University of Miami of Ohio and the next game in MAC Conference play. Thank you, folks. I've been Jonathan West, and I will see you, well, the next time.